Hello everyone, it's Michael from EzzyBills, and I'm going to present a webinar explaining how EzzyBills extracts line item information from bills. These can be sale invoices, they can be supplier invoices or bills, and how we can extract those details and then export them into the accounting system. And because we have the details, we can also do things like do account coding at a line level. We can also support inventory as well because we're extracting out the line items, etc. But before I start, I'll just give you a quick introduction into what EzzyBills is. So, and most people probably already know, we're a invoice processing system that's connected tightly with your accounting system. So you can send your invoices or your bills to EzzyBills either through the drag and drop or email, or there's a few other ways, Google Drive. You can get your bills into EzzyBills, and then EzzyBills will put your bills into your accounting system. To create an account, an EzzyBills account, all you need to do is go to our website, which is ezzybills.com, click on the free trial, and you'd be able to set up an account and then connect it to your accounting system. So let me now go into the details that I wanted to talk about today, which is line items. So I'm going to connect to one of my EzzyBill accounts, and that brings us into the user face for EzzyBills. And there's a couple of different views which you might be familiar with. So there's the dashboard, where you can have a large number of accounts added, and you can have groups, and I discussed this on a previous webinar. And once you've gone in here, you can then connect to the EzzyBill account, which if you haven't set up a HQ account, then you'd probably come straight into here. And from here, you can either simply email in your bills. So in this case here, I'm just going to drag a bill across. Into the email, and then I'm just going to do send. So it's going to send to this EzzyBills account. The other option is you can just drag and drop the bill directly from a folder on your computer, or you can use a phone app, our phone app. Let me show you the bill that I'm just uploaded. So this is a Bunnings bill, and it's got a lot of item codes, descriptions, quantities, prices, and the tax, etc. It's a typical bill or invoice. Another bill that I'll upload is a food invoice. Once again, it's quite common for these invoices to have lots of details, and sometimes they have a mixture of tax and no tax. And in this case, you have it's a food invoice, but they've got some lines which include tax. So by extracting line item details, you're able to extract all the details, including at a line level, and therefore you can actually export this into your accounting system with all the details, so that some lines would have the tax and some lines don't have the tax, rather than just dumping out a single line which says no tax or tax, and you don't really have any information about what was taxed, etc. So as usual with EzzyBills, it only takes a few seconds to process those bills. So let's go and have a look at the first one that I uploaded. So I've connected to Xero. So I'm just going to click here and open it in Xero. And what you're seeing here would be pretty typical of what you would get if you created a brand new EzzyBill account, and say a brand new Xero account, connected it up, uploaded this bill, you would get this information here. So if we if we have a look, we'll see that we didn't extract these item codes. And the reason we didn't extract the item codes is because of the way that the standard EzzyBills is configured. So most people, most customers don't actually use inventory. So if you go into EzzyBills, you'll see in the settings, you'll see this setting here, which is allow stock invoices. And what that basically tells EzzyBills is that if you get a bill, go looking for the item codes, and if allow stock invoices is enabled, then extract those item codes, and then when you export into the accounting system, see if those item codes exist. And if they exist, then basically put them in. And so if they existed, we'd put in those item codes and then the quantity and etc. So that's actually what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to allow stock invoices. I'm going to re-upload this bill. And what's going to be different this time is that we're going to extract out the item codes. If I go back to the original bill, so there were no item codes on this. However, we did extract all the descriptions and the prices, etc. And so there's two significant benefits of that. One of them is because you've got the descriptions, you can do account coding at a line level. So if you have a look here, you'll see that this line, the masonry drill bit, it has been coded to general expenses. And the reason is because in the history, when I've been processing this bill in the past, that's how I've coded it. Whereas the other lines have been coded as cost of goods because that's how I've coded in the past. So what that means is that when EzzyBills puts an invoice or a bill into your accounting system, if you have a look at it and you think, oh, okay, that should be coded to food, that should be coded to food, that should be coded to miscellaneous. If you go and do that, then the next time the bill comes in, EzzyBills is going to look at those descriptions and how you've coded it, and we'll be able to code at a line level based on the previous history. So if we go back now and have a look at the invoice which I uploaded with allow stock invoices enabled, you'll see now that the stock codes have been extracted. If I bring across the bill, I just want to go over a couple of things. So it's a common situation when you get a bill from a supplier that they might not use the item codes that you use. You might have several suppliers who sell you a particular item, and they all use different item codes. So in that case, you would struggle to be able to say, if EzzyBills was just extracting this item code and then looking into your accounting system, then and you didn't have it, then it probably wouldn't work if all we did was look at the item codes. But we don't do that because it is a common situation that the supplier item codes and your item codes may not be the same. So the way that EzzyBills resolves that problem is, first we do look for the item code. So in this case, we look for the item code 5920. And when we looked up into whether it's MYOB or QuickBooks or Xero, we've looked up into all the items, and we've gone looking for that item code. And in the first 3 lines of this invoice, we did in fact find those item codes. And because we found them, we've put them in. And the first 3 lines have just been determined by looking for those item codes. However, on the 4th line, the item code is 4061. So this is the 4061. It's on the 4th line, and I've deliberately not put that item code in Xero. And so what that means is that we didn't find the item code, but the next thing that EzzyBills does is called fuzzy description matching. So the way that works is it assumes that your description of what you're purchasing is similar to the supplier's description, and it really should be. And by similar, I mean it just has to have a few of the keywords. In this case, it's a deadbolt, it's stainless steel, it's a 607810. So these are key pieces of information. And so in Xero, what I've done is I've gone and created an item code called deadbolts, or deadbolt. And I've given it a description, deadbolt stainless steel. So what EzzyBills has done is it's gone and searched all my item codes in Xero, and it's gone looking for anything like a deadbolt, iconic stainless steel, etc. And it's found deadbolt stainless steel, and it's got quite a high match, and there wasn't anything close to it. And so EzzyBills has decided, yes, that's almost certainly the item that we're interested in. And so EzzyBills has populated the item code based on the description. So it's put it in. If there was no item code that matched, then EzzyBills, in the case of Xero, EzzyBills would have left this item blank. In the case of MYOB account right live, we would either fail the invoice and give a message saying the item code's missing, you need to enter it, or we would put in a default item code. Same with QuickBooks, you can set a default item code, and then we would have populated that default item code. So this is a good example of how we've gone through and extracted the item codes off the bill, and in some cases actually done the description matching. Another thing I want to discuss has to do with tracking. So if we have a look at this bill again, you'll see that there's a job associated with this bill, and the job is called tools. So person purchasing these items, they want it to be associated with a job called tools. And so what EzzyBills does is it extracts the job number or the tracking number off the bill. And the way it does that is there's several different ways we do that. So if you go into the advanced options, you'll see that there's a tracking keywords. So you would come in here and put in the tracking keyword. And what that does is it tells EzzyBills to go looking for some keyword on the bill, which might be something like customer job, but it could also be job number, or it could even be a variety of keywords. So you can put in a variety of keywords, and what EzzyBills will do is it will search through your invoice looking for those keywords. And when it finds those keywords, it would then go looking for a job which matched something that you've got in your accounting system. And in this case, there was a job called tools. So if we go into Xero, and we have a look in Accounting Advanced, you'll see in here, you'll see where you can set up your tracking categories or jobs. And you'll see here I've got a category called jobs, and then one of those category options is tools. So what's EzzyBills done is it's gone and extracted that tools off the bill, we know that it's a job. And so when we go to export the bill into Xero, we populate the jobs column. And so we've effectively taken the bill comes in, we've identified how to track it, and then we've populated that tracking information into the bill. So you don't have to do anything. But of course, tracking can be quite complicated. And so EzzyBills has a variety of ways to determine how to track things. And there's a fair bit of documentation on our website, but the other most common, apart from looking for something like a job, such as tools, the other thing most common is when people have something delivered, they have it delivered to a particular address. It might be a store, or it might be a site. And that's what they track. They put in all their sites or stores as tracking options or as jobs into MYOB or QuickBooks or Xero. And so what EzzyBills does when it processes a bill, it goes and extracts the delivery address. And from this delivery address, we then go searching, do we have any of these addresses that match one of our tracking options? And if it does, then we would patch in the tracking based on that address information. So that's the second most common way for people to track their invoices. So I guess I've covered probably the two main things that I wanted to cover today, which is the line item details, how we extract it, the benefits of it, which is you can do account coding at a line level. You can do, we support inventory, you can extract item codes. We use the description matching to determine item codes. And the other thing, of course, was the tracking, how we can also populate it, all the tracking information as well. So what I'd like to do now is ask if anyone has any questions so that I can probably address those, and rather than just talk about things that you're not interested in. So I have my first question here, and the question is about scanned images. So EzzyBills, it doesn't matter whether it's a scanned image like this, or whether it's a generated PDF. The EzzyBill algorithms don't care what the format of the invoice is, or what the file is, whether it's a JPEG or a PDF or a TIFF or anything like that. So it doesn't matter the layout, the format, the image, and none of those things matter. So you don't have to worry about those sort of things. You just upload the bill, and if you can read the details on the bill, then there's a pretty good chance that EzzyBills will be able to as well. So okay, a question about the processing of receipts. So the way that I would recommend receipt processing would be to use our iPhone or Android app. So the way that works is you'd go to the App Store, and you would just download the app onto your phone. And so if I just go back over here. So you would just go to the App Store, download the phone app, capture you would log in, And there's a couple of ways of logging in. One way is to use your username and password, but we also support what's called mobile passcode. So if you have a look in settings, you can see here there's this mobile passcode. So what you would do is download the app, and then after the app's been downloaded, you just hit a button and it takes a photo of this passcode, and that effectively will log you in, and then everything you capture would go straight into your EzzyBill account. And if you have staff, then you could just take a little screenshot of this passcode, email that to them, say download the EzzyBill app, take a photo of this, and then you're logged in, and then you don't have to give them your username and password. And yeah, so once you've captured the receipt, it'll go straight in as into the EzzyBills, either as a spend money transaction or as a bill. And normally as a spend money transaction, but you'd have to configure it. Another question, can we do anything about Aldi receipts? So I'm not really sure if you mean Aldi receipts as in terms of something, say, if it's a receipt like that, or something like that, then we're not going to be able to extract all the line item details off a receipt. But we'll do that off a bill, but not off a receipt. There's just not enough resolution to do that. If it's a bill, but then yes, we would extract the details. But if you send me the receipt, the Aldi receipt that you're interested in, then I'll have a look at it and I'll let you know. Another question is what if we deal with clients who have different accounts for different items? Different accounts for different items. So I think basically what you're asking is if I had sweet corn and cauliflower and kiwi fruit, and say I coded all kiwi fruit to fruit, and I coded cauliflower to vegetable, and for the purpose of knowing whether there's an increase in sales of vegetables or something, then yes, that's exactly the way EzzyBills would work. So you would upload this bill into EzzyBills, and we would put it into Xero, and let's say there was no history, so we would probably put it in as maybe cost of goods or your most common code. And what you would do is you would go into Xero. So let me just show that. So you'd come here. And you'd come in here and say, oh, yeah, that's fruit, and this one here is printing and stationery or whatever. And you'd basically go ahead and approve this. And what that's doing is that's telling EzzyBills the next time it gets where are we? Next time it gets kiwi fruit, it's going to put it as printing and stationery. And so that's exactly what EzzyBills will do, to be able to code things at a line level. And so yes, if you have different items, we would code things at a line level. And that's it. Well, that's basically the whole point of what I was talking about today. Okay, a question about purchase orders and the closing of purchase orders. And yes, that the obvious question. when someone has purchase orders. So let's have a look here. So let's say I've created a purchase order in MYOB and or Xero or QuickBooks. Well, not QuickBooks, but MYOB or Xero. If I create the purchase order and then I go and send that out to the supplier then comes and sends me back the bill. And the bill may or may not contain everything on the purchase order. If the bill does contain everything on the purchase order, then EzzyBills is going to extract the purchase order off the bill. And once again, when it comes to extracting purchase order numbers, there are two things we're working off. We're working off the keywords and the data. So if we come in here, you'll see this is the purchase order keyword. So, we'd put in here purchase reference or number, maybe purchase ref or order number, something like that. And then EzzyBills is going to go looking for the numbers that are near those keywords. And then we would look into your accounting systems for all your purchase orders. And we would find the purchase order, which let's say we had it in there. So we'd find this purchase order here. And then when the bill comes in, we have a look at the purchase order, we have a look at the bill. And if they're similar, then what happens is, in the case of MYOB, the PO gets converted to the bill and then updated with the details of the bill. In the case of Xero, the purchase order gets closed, the bill comes in, and the bill is created just like a normal bill with the PO closed off in Xero. So yes, that's how we deal with purchase orders. On one of the previous webinars, I did go into that with a bit of details. Another question is, will EzzyBills bifurcate in multiple tracking categories just like you have for jobs and state? Okay, so I believe what we're talking about here is, so if you've got, let's say I've got two tracking categories, one of them is jobs, one of them is state. And the way that EzzyBills is going to work is it's going to look for a couple of things. One thing is it will go and look for the history for the tracking options. So, and this is the only way that it would work like this. So let's say my tracking option was, let's pick something. It's not a very good example. Let's find something else. Let's say my tracking is AAA school. So that's what I'm tracking, AAA school. And that's not a tracking, it's not what we call a tracking option, but it's what we track. So EzzyBills would extract AAA school off the bill, and then EzzyBills would look back into the history to see how you've tracked that. And what we would find is if I uploaded a bill, and let's say I've got AAA schools there. That's EzzyBills has gone and created this bill. It extracted AAA schools as the tracking, as the job information, and then it populates it there in the bill. And I come in here and I go and set the state and the job information, and then I approve it. So the next time that EzzyBills gets a bill that has AAA schools on it, then EzzyBills is going to look up and say, okay, did I have a previous bill which had AAA schools on it? And if so, how was it tracked? And in that case, we would populate both the tracking options however you've done it in the past. So in the case where you've only got one tracking option, then we can just extract that one tracking option and populate. But in the case where you've got more than one tracking option, then you have to work it this way, which is you'd have to create, you'd have to specify something on the bill. We would extract that, and then we would look up in the history to see whether how you've tracked it in the past. Can the phone app be used with more than one EzzyBill account? Yes. So on the EzzyBills app, if you download the EzzyBills app, and I'm not sure it shows here. So on the EzzyBills app, you'll see in settings, there will be a list of all the EzzyBill accounts that you've added. So you can add multiple EzzyBill accounts to the app, and it's a simple case of going into settings, and you can switch between the apps. So let me just have a look. See if, yeah, I don't think I've got any pictures here, but yes, you can. We do support. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, I'll say everyone have a good afternoon, and I'll talk to you again at the next webinar. Thanks very much. Bye.